What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be continuing our God of War boss tier list by going over the God of War Ragnarok bosses. Should have about every one of them here on the tier list. This guy made a tier list. I don't know, I can shout him out. Panda Boy on X, I guess is what his name is. Made a good tier list of both games, every boss. We already have 2018 bosses here because we did that before. Once again, I want to mention that this is based on the quality of the boss fights and the aesthetics and everything like that. Difficulty is included, but it's not the entire thing. That's why Balder's at number one, because it really wasn't a boss that was very difficult. That would be like in like C or B tier at most. So obviously it's not based on difficulty, it's just based on the quality of the boss. So I just want to make that clear and obvious to anybody watching this video. And we have all the bosses in 2018 right here. So we're going to go ahead and get started with God of War Ragnarok, man. I'm just kind of skimming over these. It looks like we have pretty much every fight in the game. So let's just go ahead and get into it with Bjorn, which is the first fight of the game. Kind of like the Troll was in God of War 2018. Bjorn was kind of like that tutorial boss after you got done with the mechanics and fighting like basic enemies. You got to fight Bjorn, which was just Atreus in disguise as a bear. Or not really disguised, but transformed into a bear. Kind of introduces that he can shapeshift and stuff like Loki can in the lore, right? Because it's a tutorial boss, it's a very simple move set, not anything very complicated. You learn how to parry, all that good stuff. Pretty decent fight, but overall not like super crazy or anything. Just as simple as it gets. Really, we're gonna put it above, like kind of middle of the road of the Soul Eaters. It's crazy how many Soul Eaters you encounter in the game in the 2018. Next up is a good one, pretty much the equivalent of Baldur in the first game. So like like you said, you get a troll fight in 2018, and then you get to Baldur. Here you go against Bjorn, and then you go against Thor, which just like the Baldur fight, really aesthetically pleasing. You're going through the multiple locations, great voice acting, great taunting. You have multiple layers of this, like multiple like what am I trying to say, like multiple like phases of the boss fight. You also get Lily Phallic, what's the word for it? Like the mashing section, and then you get Revive, which was super sick and unexpected. I think that fooled everybody at the beginning of the game. And just Thor is a great character. I'm not gonna say it's better than Boulder. They're actually really evenly matched, like just bar for bar. I think I like Thor better as a character, but the fight I think I'll edge it out to Boulder. But these are pretty much neck and neck. Next up, we have like the Huntress or whatever they're called, like the half deer, half human kind of centaur mix like thing at the beginning of the game after you fight Thor, but your shield is damaged, so you don't get the parry, which was super annoying since they like to throw a lot of projectiles at you, and you're just so used to parrying even this early in the game and coming from God of War 2018 that like it completely throws you off, and it's kind of annoying to be honest. Especially like I said, she has range attacks that you would typically parry and send back at them, but since you don't have a shield, you can't parry it and send it back, and it's kind of annoying once again. But it does have, on the bright side, it does have a very exploitable weakness where it's like antlers grow and you can throw the axe at it and they'll immediately lay down and get easy damage that way. But honestly, since the shield literally breaks during this fight, they kind of set it back a bit. I'm gonna put it like right here, just because I hate the troll so much. Next up, we have the Hateful or whatever, which is just a Draugr whole fight. It's just a normal Draugr with dual wielding axe, and you fight it like 4 times while other ads spawn around it. Honestly, not an enjoyable fight. Never liked these encounters. You encounter, like I said, like 4 or 5 times throughout the game. It's literally the same enemy every time, just with a higher health pool and more damage, and it might spawn some more enemies. Pretty lazy design, if you ask me, because it's literally a copy from a base enemy that was literally in 2018 as well. And it has this annoying attack to where it glows, and if you hit while it's glowing, it blows up. I never liked that attack. The only way you can avoid it is by throwing an axe at it. Really not my favorite boss. Honestly, gonna put it in F tier to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. Just it doesn't have any annoying mechanics, and it's actually a very simple boss fight because you've encountered this enemy multiple times throughout the games. It's just a reskin though, which is annoying. Speaking of reskins, I'm not sure if they're showing the reskin Dreki fights. So I think there's like every Dreki fight in the game. You encounter Dreki like 6 or 7 times throughout the game. It's actually crazy. There's another Dreki fight right here. So I don't know what the deal is. I can't tell if they're showing all of them, but I'm gonna just throw all the Dreki. I'm gonna assume this is like the dual Dreki fight, and this is a single Dreki fight. Overall, they're just pretty simple fights. There's like one specific attack that like comes out super fast, like one of its bite attacks that I just could never parry or always get hit by it. There's also when there's I don't know if it's with the single ones do it too, but when there's a group fight of them, one will sit in the water and throw electricity at you, which can be super annoying because you gotta focus on that while you're attacking the other one. But overall, a lot of their attacks are super simple, especially their tail attacks. You encounter these guys so many times throughout the game, even up into like the late mid game to late game. You're still fighting these things, and you encounter them really early on in Svartalheim, and they were just all over the freaking place. I think there's like 3 or 4 fights in Vanaheim alone that you have to fight these things. It's super annoying, especially when you're excited to see something new, and it's just a fucking other Dreki. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like the troll fight in the last game, but I think I like the Dreki a little more to be honest, because at least it's something new. Yeah, I like their design better. So we're just gonna put it like barely over all the. I'm actually gonna put it below this one because this was the first troll encounter, and we're gonna put it like. Actually, now we're gonna put it over it because that's the first troll. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. All right, this is the light elf boss fight. They're in the Lightwell area, I believe. I don't really remember this fight at all, to be honest. And literally, there's a reskin of it later in the game with the librarian. I can't remember their moveset. I remember like I think this is when you like they introduced shield bashing mechanic like for bosses, and I really didn't care for that mechanic very much. Not gonna lie, like I'm not gonna lie to you. I think you unlock it by putting your shield in like the light well or something. I forgot how you unlock it, but you shield bash and there's like the specific attacks that like glow blue that you can shield bash them, and that's the only way you can dodge it. And it's usually just like big ass AOE's too that you cannot avoid without shield bashing, which is annoying. But I don't really have much to say about this fight overall. I'll put it below the Valkyries, like right here, in C tier. Next up, we have Aunt Bethel, or whatever the fuck her name is, Angerboda's grandmother or whatever, where you had to destroy the well and stuff. I can't remember. There was a gimmick to this fight. Like, you don't just straight up fight her. There's a gimmick to it, to where you have to destroy seals in order to break the bowl, and then that just ends the fight right there. Honestly, if I'm being honest, like the Ironwood section of the game was like my least favorite part of the game. I did not enjoy the Ironwood and Jotunheim whatsoever. It's not like I didn't like playing as Atreus. Atreus was actually quite enjoyable, except especially in the early game. But just it was just a slog to go through, to be honest. And there wasn't a whole lot of fights, and when there was fights, they weren't very interesting. And then we had like this kind of like mid-ass boss fight towards the end. We're gonna put it like right below Bjorn and C tier. I'm guessing this is the Freya encounter, when she's still trying to kill you and then you make a truce. I mean, it's a story boss, pretty simple and straightforward, kind of difficult to lose. She kind of does the same thing that all the other Valkyries did in the last game. Like she does the fucking Valhalla slams, but I don't think she has any audio cue for that. She does the feather throw thing. She does like a lot of like the simple attacks that the last Valkyries in the other game did. So for that, I'll put her like right below. I'll put her on top of C tier. Next up, we have the Grim Reaper dude, the captain or whatever with the scythe at encountered in Vanaheim. I mean, you encounter these kind of enemies quite a bit throughout the game. Later on, they become normal enemies, and although he looks cool as fuck, he's definitely the better version of this boss. Like the scythe is sick. There's one with the hammer and there's one with a scythe. I like the scythe one better in my opinion. And here you are, and he has just a cool aesthetic. But in terms of like the difficulty or the like mechanics of the boss, pretty simple and kind of dry and pretty simple mechanically. But since it looks cool as fuck, I'll put him like right here in the Valkyrie fight. Next up, we have this little worm dude. I forgot his actual name. But this is where we fight to free Freya from Odin's like hold, to where she can't go to different realms in her like physical form. For some reason, this boss really fucked me up early in the game. I can't really put my finger on why. Well, actually, I can. There was this one attack where he sucks up a bunch of shit and throws it back at you. I could never figure out how to avoid getting hit by that attack. Like every single time I'd get chunks of damage taken out of me because it would use that attack. So if you use that attack, I would just die. And I still, to this day, don't know how to avoid that shit. So that was very frustrating for me, and that's why I died so much to it. Those like little gimmicky boss like that always fucked me up. But the boss looks absolutely amazing. Probably one of my favorite boss designs in the entirety of the game, and it was just a very fun and enjoyable experience. Other than that one attack, like once you get to the second phase of the boss fight, it's not nearly as bad. But if it's throwing it out consistently, I was always taking damage. So because of that, we'll put it like the bottom of B tier. Next up, we have, I guess, the duo Dreki fights. Just kind of like the same thing as a normal Dreki, but repeated and with a second one, which made it more annoying because I don't like gank fights. We're going to put it at like the middle of these trolls here. Next up, we have the Librarian, which is a copy of the Lightwell version with just more health and does more damage. Except this time you don't kill it. Honestly, don't really have much to say about it. It's a repeat boss. I mean, they look exactly the same. There's really no difference. But since it's a repeat boss, it's going to lower down the list. We're going right here. Next up, we have I forgot what they're called. But you know, things like you have to fight you have to break the seals to do damage to it. Very simple fights. They do like very heavy attacks. You throw your axe at it while you see the glowing ring on its face. It gets stunned, you do damage. You repeat that until it poise breaks, basically. And my goodness, sorry. You do that till it poise breaks, and then you break the seals. And then once you break so many seals, you go over there and kill it. About as simple as it gets. Has very easy to telegraph attacks, and aren't particularly difficult to fight. Their design isn't really that cool either. Top of D. Next up, we have these like flag wyvern or dragon things. I forgot what they're called. This one was super easy to fight, except for one attack because I kept getting too close to it, like the slam attack where I'd like launch debris. But overall, literally one of the easiest boss to telegraph. You fight these guys like 3 or 4 times throughout the game. None of them are exceptionally difficult to fight. Just they have more health and do more damage. But since their move sets aren't complicated at all, it doesn't really make an impact on anything about them. So we're gonna put them in like, I think they look cooler than a Dreki. We're gonna put them like right here. Next up, we have the first of the Berserkers. I'm guessing this is gonna be the first one you encounter in the game. Super easy fight. Didn't really struggle with this one very much. As far as I remember, the moveset was very simple. Just had the hammer, didn't have any of those big AoEs that the later ones have that were literally like so annoying. Just kind of like the first Valkyrie from the last game, just looked less cool. Where do we have Gunnar anyway? Right there. We're gonna put it like right below the fire right there. So we have the chieftain of the tribes that like kidnap and eat dogs or whatever. This guy is reskinned throughout the game. This guy just has a bigger health pool. Simple move set, just like a raider. He does have teammates around him, which is a gank fight, which I do not like I've mentioned before. So that is unfortunate. But overall, the boss design is very simple, not really that cool. Move set, simple as well. It's a gank fight. Not really anything really good of going for it, is there? Top of D. Voice crack. Here we have another troll fight. I don't remember exactly which one this is, but I've already spoke my case in the last tier list about how much I don't like these fights. This is no exception. They literally took a overused enemy or boss in the last game and just brought it back again. Bottom of D. Here we have the Callus. So this guy really has nothing going for him. He has this launch attack right here, as you can see. Super easy to parry. Really easy to get poise on him. Super simple attack. So he has the great sword or whatever. Has no elemental abilities. Has no massive AoEs really, from what I remember. I think he has one where he can slam, but you have all day to get to it. All of his attacks are slow and easy to parry. Literally probably easier than the last boss, but he looks cooler because he's a sword instead of a hammer. And I think the berserkers look kind of cool. So where we put the last berserker? I think overall they look worse than the Valkyries. All right here, we'll put it like above Gunnar. We have this random like little gremlin boss that was just for some reason in Svartalheim or Vanaheim. I can't even remember where it was. I'm pretty sure it was Svartalheim. Yeah, really nothing to say about this guy. Literally a reskinned and bigger health pool enemy that you already encountered multiple times throughout the game. Really have nothing to say about it. Didn't really have anything unique going for it at all. Next up we have this guy. I can't really read his name, but I know he's the one who throws the lightning bolts, which was the first like actual boss I struggled with quite a bit because he'd like launch himself up a lot of the time and you can't reach him and damage him, and I hated that shit. Like where he'd put the AoEs, but you literally could not hit him or get him out of that animation unless you hit him with like a stunning attack. You can like throw axes at him to stop. But it's like I just wasn't expecting his attacks to be the way they were, and he also punches and stuff and has that one where he like flashes you, or not like flashes you, but hits you with lightning. And if you don't parry it or get out of the way, you're automatically going to take damage. And I feel like I was really underleveled for this fight. So that's another thing to consider. The lightning and stuff is cool. I'd put them like right there. Next up we have Garm is when you're with Kratos and Atreus. Pretty cool fight. Had a gimmick to it where it cannot die. When you had to like trap it in its chain and hit him with a specific attack. There's multiple phases of it, but when you finally kill, you run away, and then you take a final attempt at taking him down when Atreus stabs him with a knife and puts Fenrir's soul into Garm, which wasn't a very satisfying ending to it, in my opinion, but it was alright. The fight overall is just a gimmicky one, kind of like most of the story bosses are. I do like it in more than the... Where's the lizard dude at? I did like him more than him. So I'll put it like right there. Next up we have Hilfasker the Bold, which was the boss. Out of all the bosses I fought in the game, this was the boss I struggled with the most. Kind of like the same thing with the boss in the last game. I think it's Gildraful or whatever. Whatever one in the last game spawned. I think it's Kara actually. I think Kara was the one who spawned in the enemies in the last game, and they absolutely fucked me up. Luckily, this one's a toned down a bit, but it still was super difficult. For one, I was under leveled, and for two, the Reavers would literally go across the fucking map lunging at you and would fucking destroy you if you hit it with a three-piece combo, while also having to focus on the boss itself. Literally, I had to cheese it by using runic attacks the second it looked like he was about to spawn him in to completely cancel it out. That was the only way I was able to beat this guy because he destroyed me. I died 82 times and took 84 attempts because I reset a couple of times to beat this dude. This guy was no joke. Literally the hardest boss in the game, in my opinion, at least in my first playthrough on Give Me a Challenge difficulty. Other than that, he isn't really very unique. He throws like gunk at you, spawns and enemies. It's a gank fight, so it's obviously going to be lower. We're going to put it like right there. Next up, we have this little random werewolf thing that's for some reason a boss. Once again, it's a reskin of a normal enemy. F tier. Actually, I'll put it on the bottom of D because I do like the design of it. That's it. Same move set, just more health and does more damage. Next up, we have the very satisfying and awesome Heimdall fight. Might genuinely be my favorite fight in the game. Whole time, Heimdall is taunting you. You're figuring him out and finally like predicting his moves. So eventually he gets so angry and everything that he just completely abandons trying to dodge your attacks, which I thought was pretty weird. Like if he had the ability to foresee all your attacks, why the fuck is he not dodging them throughout the fight? Even though you fucked him up, but he still should have that ability. Then he uses the Bifrost to get his health or to get his arm back to the second phase, whereas a bit kind of same. I did struggle with like the spear throwing section, especially like the third one, because he would dodge in the wrong way. Because you have to like throw it at him, then predict it where he's gonna go next, and then throw it and blow him up. That was kind of annoying, but I understand the gimmick and everything and the point of it. It was a fun fight and probably one of my favorites in the game. Maybe not as good as the second Baldur's fight, but definitely better than the first and probably my favorite fight in the game, to be honest. Next up, we have the 3 reskin Traveler boss fights. Travelers are probably the easiest enemy type in the entire game. Like pretty much every encounter I fought them on, except for the second one that's in Vanaheim that I fought, where they like I don't know if it's gonna show each of them individually. I think it was this guy right here who did the AOE where it throws skulls at you, or not AOE, but like they throw skull at you, and you have to like break this concentration to get it. But this guy pretty much has no like difference between the normal travelers that you fought in the last game and the normal travelers that you fight in this game as well. Just a reskin, man. Bottom of D. Actually, I'll put it above there because I think travels look cool. Next up, we have the Corpse Eater. Is that like the normal Wyvern fight, or is that one of the dragons you fight? I think it was like the Wyvern. These things got on my nerves. There was like a certain attack where like it could fly around and whip their tail at you that I could never predict. And this is also a normal enemy layer in the game. It don't even look that cool. We'll put it like right there. I don't know why my freaking thing keeps freezing. Oh, just a reskin of the same guy, but I think this time he had the spear so he can like break his poise a lot easier, which is pretty convenient. But this is the same. This is a reskin of the guy that you meet in Alfheim. I'm trying to figure out where it's at because we're gonna put this like slightly above it because at least it's a bit more convenient. I see it's right here. We'll put it above all the Soul Eater encounters. Next up, we have this traveler, which I'm pretty sure sends the skulls at you. He's a bit different from all the other reskins, so I'll put him in like C tier. Put it like right there above the Dreki fight. At least he had something going for him. Everything else was just the same. Next one with the Crimson Dread, which was a boss fight, a dragon boss fight that you was story driven because, or it was a side mission to free. Bro, this is ridiculous. It was a side mission to free that guy who fell off the flying boat earlier. You pretty much go over there to save him, and the gimmick here is it'll fly over you, and you have to throw your axe at it. Fire attacks, only one of them really fucked me up, which was the one where it would, I don't remember what it was, but there was one attack that fucked me up like every single time. And this boss is reskinned like 3 other times. I don't know why these games reskin so many bosses so much. It's kind of crazy. But you throw your axe at its throat, it gets stunned, so you can completely avoid that. When it flies up, you just throw your axe at it and it drops down. Other than that, it's a pretty simple fight. Its physical attacks aren't very hard to avoid, or ain't very hard to avoid or parry. So, and this design looks cool, but I don't think it's as cool as the Valkyries. We're putting it right there. Next up, we have the Flame. This one's the story one that you encounter in Muspelheim from the aesthetics, but you encounter these multiple times. The only difference is that it has this one attack to where it shoots flames up, and during the encounter in Vanaheim, you also have to avoid the dragon, which can be a boon or a like a problem because it can do damage to this, but it can also do damage to you, which can really fuck you up. So, which the environmental dragon stuff was actually like kind of annoying. Wasn't really a big fan of that. But this fight, just like the other one, super simple. It has a red design around it and has a few new attacks, but overall not much different. We'll put it on top of D tier. Wasn't really a big fan of having to break their little freaking runes or whatever. Next up, we have this guy, which is just a simpler version of the other two. He has no shield on his back. This is a traveler, by the way. If you probably can't see it, but this is like the third traveler encounter in Vanaheim, where he has no shield on his back and he doesn't have the skull attack. I think he can spawn in enemies, so it's a gang fight, so it's even worse. We're going to bottom of D tier. As a matter of fact, we're going to top of F. Tired of fighting travelers, man. You find them so many times throughout these games. Like, come on. Next up, we have, once again, another fight. Pretty much no different from the last one I discussed with this little thing, except it's at the end of a side quest. Where do we put the last one? It's going to be below that. Yeah, right there. We're gonna put actually no, below that too. We're gonna put them like right here. What is this one? Oh, this one has the AoEs and the hammer. So this time he had an AoE on top. Don't really know where to throw you because I don't really remember you very much. Since he has the AoE, I guess I put him at the bottom of everybody else. Put it right there. Next up, we have another dragon encounter. This time you have to like time a block when it flies over instead of throwing an axe at it. Other than that, pretty much completely the same as the last one. So it's a bit easier at least. So I guess I'll put a little bit higher, but not really anything special from the last one. This time we have the Huntress in Vanaheim where you encounter her like 3 times. What really pisses me off about this fight, and I'm going to get into it right now, is that there's a random set of locations that you have to encounter her at in order to defeat her. You have to wander around. It's randomized too. So she can spawn at like a possibility of like 3 locations before she goes to the den. And there's like 5 or 6 locations that she can spawn between them. So you have to literally wander around and even backtrack at points in order to encounter her. Like I don't think there's any way you can encounter her 3 times naturally. Like you have to seek her out, which is so freaking annoying. And then when you finally encounter her, she had a low health pool, so she's not even that hard of a fight. But other than that, she has like pretty much the same move set as the last like Huntress. And the other Huntress encounter, she shoots her bow and stuff, but you can't like hit her antlers to knock her down, I believe. I don't remember you being able to do that. Maybe you can. I don't think I ever did for her. She has like multi shots. She sends shots from above to rain down on you. You know the deal. This is just gonna be a worse version of this one, in my opinion. It's going to D tier. I hated chasing her. Yeah, honestly, like right here. I don't know above Stank, the Stank Valkyrie. Once again, another reskin of the troll going in F tier. Here we got the. Is this the one of the gank fights? Yeah, there's one that had like dual maces and the other one with dual shields. It's probably the easiest of the Berserker duo fights. But overall, a gank fight that I wasn't a big fan of. Probably like the worst one so far. We're going in D tier, top of D though. Right here is probably like the worst fight in terms of like frustration in the game. We have a trio fight, which is the only fight, unless you're counting like ad spawns. Like these are 3 separate bosses you are fighting here. And I think this is Midgard. Or no, this is Alfheim. This Alfheim, there's 3 of them. There's like 2 elements and there's one with dual maces. The dual maces of Berserkers always fucked me up because I just could not get their movesets down. They had like long pauses between their combos. But not only that, they'll throw these balls of fucking fire or ice, and if they hit you, you're just dead. And if the main boss that is aggressive towards you with the dual maces is in your face when they throw those balls at you, you're just fucked. You're either getting hit by the ball and dying, or you're getting hit by the Berserker and maybe have a chance of surviving, depending on what they're throwing at you. These will also throw like AoEs at you and all kinds of stuff, just harassing you the entire fight. Literally the most annoying and frustrating fight in the entire game, and the only fight in the game where you're fighting 3 separate bosses. Honestly, not the hardest boss in the game. I probably put it like 3rd or 4th, but definitely the most annoying. Going to the bottom F tier. That shit was garbage. Here we just have a normal one with dual maces. Like I said, the dual mace moveset and the dual, I think there's the dual mace and the dual axe, both kind of like the same. So they look different. They have like these massive AoEs where they like do this and then this and they'll literally kill you from anywhere in the arena. Kind of annoying, but since it's just one by itself, it's just an easier version of that. I think the maces look kind of cool, but I just don't like their moveset. So in that case, they're going down to here. Is this another troll fight? Is this the one that you unfreeze in Midgard? Yep. Just another shitty fight where but you also have to seek it out and use a specific charm to activate it. Yeah, fuck off. Going F tier. I'm gonna count how many troll encounters that you fight in this game, in these 2 games. Don't even remember when you encounter this one. I think this is the one that you find in. No, I'm thinking of a Soul Eater. I have no idea what this fight is. F tier. This is like stone thing looks kind of cool. Here's another dragon fight that you once again have to seek out and unfreeze. There's also a few trolls you have to do the same thing for. I don't know if they're all listed here, but they're all trash. You have a frozen dragon that you have to get a charm for in Midgard to unfreeze. So it takes up your charm or talisman slot, which is kind of annoying, but this is pretty much just a reskin boss fight of the Crimson Dread, but you have to seek it out. So it's a tier lower than that. Put on top of D. Here we have, I can't even see this. That's the Soul Eater fight in Muspelheim after meeting Satyr or Surtur. He throws you over there and he summons like a duo. Is it a duo Soul Eater fight? Soul Eaters are down. By this point, you have Soul Eaters down to a science. You just throw an axe at it, throws out a bead, throw the bead at it until it gets stunned, and then it dies when you mount it a few times. So, where's all our Soul Eaters? Oh, let's put it right there. Here we have a duo Valkyrie fight. Soundtrack was banging. This is the second time you hit the soundtrack because you fight Freya earlier and it has that soundtrack. Except this time it's a duo Valkyrie fight, which is the first time you do that and the only time you do that. Where there's two Valkyries fighting you. They have a few unique movesets, and that's a plus, but pretty much only one fights you at a time until you hit the damage threshold, which they both take the same amount of damage. Like if you hit one, they both take damage, which is weird. But usually one just focuses on Atreus while the other focuses you. And they might switch out and stuff throughout, I think. And then they have like areas where you can't damage them, and they'll just like throw different like environmental stuff at you. Other than the soundtrack, it's a pretty lame fight. It's just worse than like every other Valkyrie fight in all the other games, maybe other than Gildraful or whatever the Stank Valkyrie is in 2018. It's the only fight I'd put below it in terms of trash. Where the fuck is the Stank Valkyrie? There's the Stank Valkyrie. So let's go on the same tier in D. Put it right there since it's a story boss. And honestly, the environment looks really cool too. We'll pull it up, but not much higher. Put it right there. Next up, we have the Raven Keeper and the dragon as well. I forgot what the dragon's name is, but basically this is just a hag, kind of like this one right here in the bottom of F tier, which I've already stated how much I don't like them because you have to use arrows to attack it. Basically, you unlock this after fighting every single raven, or finding and destroying every single raven in the game. So you really have to, you are going to, I do not believe that everyone has like gotten every raven naturally in the game. Like you have to seek them out. So that's already a negative. It's a reskin. They're both reskin bosses. Their movesets are not any different. And they're one of the bosses is one I just cannot stand. Bottom of D tier. I'm actually being generous there. I thought about putting an F. Here we have the second Thor encounter towards the end of the game. One of the last story bosses in the game. I think I like the first one better. Unlike the Baldur encounter, the second Baldur encounter, I feel like I liked that a lot more than the second Thor encounter. For one, it's short-lived. For two, it's just a lot of talking. Three, it's attack set, move set didn't really change a whole lot, and the dialogue wasn't as cool. I'll put like around like above like Modi, Magni and Modi, right there. Actually, no, I'll put on top of B tier. Next up, we have the Odin fight, which is multiple layers. At first, like there's a kind of like some environmental sections where like you'll have to pick a collect section of the arena because you'll like electrify or whatever the other three. I think it starts with one, then two, then three, then at the end, and then you go to a bottom section where you regains health, and you, Freya, and Atreus, which I don't really think Freya does anything during the fight. At least for my case, she didn't really. And you fight them once and for all. And it's a pretty interesting fight. Once again, not as good as the Baldur fight at the end of 2018. It's probably my favorite fight of all the games because he does sit back a lot of the time and just throw shit at you. And I think there are a couple parts where you cannot damage him. He also has like the like elemental stuff to where like you have to have the right element to damage him, which I wasn't really a big fan of that mechanic, to be honest. I mean, I think it's a cool excuse to use multiple weapons, but really not my thing. I probably put it between the first Baldur encounter and Heimdall I think I like Heimdall more. Like I said, it's like my favorite fight of Ragnarok. Here we have a duo boss fight with the Einherjar like captain with the hammer and the Einherjar captain with the scythe. You've already encountered by this point, this is past the game, you've already encountered both these guys multiple times and kind of know their move sets. But this time it's a duo fight, it's at a Shard of Asgard, a completely optional boss fight. I just prefer things separately than two of them. So it's gonna be below the scythe. I'll probably put it like right here above Bjorn. Here we have. I do not remember this boss at all. I do not remember this guy at all. Oh, this is the Bifrost one. So basically, the whole gimmick here is that when you're near it, I think it's a female. When you're near her, she has this AOE effect where you would passively gain Bifrost until you have max. Oh, my bad. Until you have max, and once you hit max, if you take any damage by this boss, you die. So basically, you have to fight the boss the entire time without getting hit once, which ain't that big of a deal because for this point in the game, he doesn't really have a lot, or she doesn't really have a lot of health, and the moveset's pretty simple since you've already probably fought all the other Valkyries or Berserkers before it. I will put her like right here. Another troll fight. Don't care. Next we have Gnaw, which is basically the equivalent of Sigrun, at least in my opinion. I saw one website that said that the King, Berserker King, was the equivalent, which in my opinion, I don't agree with that. This could be considered the hardest boss in the game, but this isn't the boss I struggle with the most. But it does have the most complicated. She does have the most complicated moveset and the largest health pool in the game. Thing is, it's not a gank fight, so that's why it's not the hardest for me. Just saying. Anyway, she is basically a Sigrun copy, but don't share really any move set with her, except for the left dash, wing swipe, and a right dash stab, and all the other stuff like that. She does share a few things, but she has like these two elemental attacks that you have to use specific arrows to prevent. There's also a shower to Asgard that you have to encounter in Muspelheim. But the reason why I struggle with this boss so much was just because of her health pool. She has an insane amount of health, and some of her attacks are genuinely hard to avoid. But she is no Sigrun. Sigrun is definitely the hardest boss in the entirety of 2018 in Ragnarok. And honestly, I'll put this one since it's maybe a bit more gimmicky than Sigrun. I'm assuming this is Sigrun right here. Let's put her like a few like ticks below Sigrun, to be honest. Like right there. Next up, we have King Harolf, or whatever his name is, which is the final Berserker before you fight all of them. He basically has a mixed bag of everything all the Berserkers have, including the annoying AoEs, the dual maces I struggle with, just everything, but at least it's not a gank fight, so I didn't struggle with it too much. The dual maces and the dual axes were always something I fucked up on. He has an insane health pool, so it takes a lot of damage to do. And if you do a dash attack and then immediately do the massive AoE, and sometimes you literally cannot reach it unless you immediately bolt towards him the second he does it. And that fucked me up a few times. Really wasn't my favorite fight, even in terms of Berserkers, and it definitely wasn't as good as Sigrun. Wasn't the worst Berserker fight by any means, but we'll put him like right there in the near top of seats here. Difficulty was all in his health and his annoying AoEs, and the dual maces and axes. That's it. Anyway, guys, there it is. Every single boss in God of War 2018 and Ragnarok in one tier list, top to bottom. Only one S tier ranking. Then the top dog of all of them, we have Baldur, and we have a few F tiers. Honestly, the boss catalog for these games wasn't crazy. A lot of repeat bosses. Matter of fact, I'm gonna count how many troll bosses there are. So there are 14 troll encounters. That's not even counting all the ones that you have to unfreeze, which I think are like 3 of them in the game as well. There's like an excessive amount of troll fights throughout both games. Kind of fucking ridiculous. So that's why a lot of these are F tiers, because these were just reskins. Nothing unique about them. And of course, the worst fight in both games is this trifecta of fuckery. Just absolutely terrible. As you can see, the top 5 is all story bosses because they put a lot more effort into the story bosses. I think the only one that isn't a story boss is this Valkyrie right here, which I couldn't even tell you which one that is because I don't see the name. Anyway, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments, and this will be my last God of War tier lists. This is just an overall rating of every boss in the game. I do apologize for the frame drops and the ads. This website won't work with an ad blocker, unfortunately, so I do apologize for that. But like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in another one. Peace.